Sometimes there are slow weeks, sometimes there are fast weeks. This was a fast one. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, May 28th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. This week saw the launch and announce of several big titles and dates and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, very busy week. We got a lot to cover. So let's jump right in. This week saw the launch of Biomutant. Biomutant is a post-apocalyptic open-world action RPG kung fu video game that we first saw in 2017, and I think has gone pretty dark since then. They had pretty limited marketing campaign. I think some of that had to do with COVID delays, but this game just kind of went quiet. And now that we have, now that we got kind of people's first impressions, we can kind of see why maybe that is. It seems like there was a lot of systems competing with themselves, or at least just a lot of stuff kind of crammed in there. The game is currently sitting at a 67 Metacritic, which isn't that good, but I think this is just a very divisive title, so I don't know that that necessarily is a death knell for the game. It comes from THQ Nordic, so it's a little bit smaller team, but definitely something there. The reviews that I've seen have talked about, like I said, mismatched mechanics, as well as like floaty combat, and some of the combat just doesn't feel enticing, but exploring the world feels really good. Character creation, which I've seen several times this week, looks really cool, and you can really kind of design your rat creature or squirrel or whatever you want to call it, your marsupial, however you wish. And I think the character creator actually looks pretty cool. But yeah, even in the trailer that I released, or that I talked about last week, like, there's definitely a lot going on here. It definitely drew from a lot of different places. And I think that's kind of the fact that it had so many things kind of competing for one is somewhat why I think that the Metacritic is a little bit lower. I'm still kind of interested in the game. I'm not saying, like I said, I don't think a 67 is a death knell or anything like that. I'm still interested in the game, but go find a reviewer that you like, see what they say about it, and make your own opinion. So I don't usually say that about Metacritics, because usually there's a consensus, but this one seems a little bit more divisive. So doesn't mean it's not for you. And I think if you're looking for an open world action RPG in a slow month, then this could be the game for you. So I'm looking forward to potentially picking it up, but not right now. This week we also had a state of play from PlayStation. This one was exclusively about Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Forbidden Dawn, or Horizon Zero Dawn. Blah, those are two very big mouthfuls to talk about. But yes, this one is about Horizon Forbidden West. We got basically a 15-minute showcase, and 14 minutes of it was gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. So we just got more hands-on. And yeah, the game looks like it's off to a great start. I was surprised that we didn't get any kind of details on the date or anything like that, but if they're kind of ready to show gameplay, I'm assuming in the next, I think we'll probably see more at E3, and then we'll get something like a Q4 release date sometime around that point. So the Horizon Forbidden West, I'm really interested in getting this in. I didn't play the first one, but I probably will pick it up to play it this summer to get me ready for playing Horizon Forbidden West later this year. So looking forward to playing that. Another game that I'm looking forward to playing that has been kind of in a dry spell for a while. Dying Light 2 got its official surname. Dying Light 2 Stay Human is here, or subtitle, or whatever you want to call it. Dying Light 2 Stay Human. We also got like 9 to 10 minutes of gameplay this week. We haven't seen this game since E3 2019 at the Microsoft Showcase, which, again, I think earlier this year they started talking about, hey, more details are coming, just wait, hold your horses, we'll give you more details. And it definitely looks different. I played Dying Light 1, and this one seems to have added a lot more features. It looks like Dying Light, but with more kind of mechanics, more narrative to it. So like, you're going to be able to play with different factions, and the combat looks a little bit more involved and improved and strategic. and you can kind of spec whichever way you want to, but you'll still have the kind of running around, parkouring, and fighting zombies that you enjoy from a Dying Light game. I've been excited for this one. I've been eagerly anticipating more details, so I'm looking forward to getting more news in the near future. But they did confirm a release date for this for December 7th this year, so probably the last release of the year. Hopefully that kind of, I could see them trying to crunch it in and fit it in before the end of the year to kind of get some financial goals for the year. So looking forward to seeing more about Dying Light 2 coming up later this year. We got another game announced, or not announced, but another game kind of confirming its release date. Another game that we've kind of been waiting on details about. Far Cry 6 today had kind of a 20-minute or so kind of showcase talking about what's coming in Far Cry 6. Confirmed the release date for Far Cry 6. So, as I've been saying all along, you just got to wait until this kind of middle of the year, E3, all the dates are going to start locking in. So Far Cry 6 is launching October 7th this year. So we'll kind of start off our Q4 by playing Far Cry 6. It went a little bit more into the characters. It did show off gameplay. It showed off some crazy guns. It showed off some crazy abilities that you'll get. The kind of areas that you'll be running around are very like swampy. The one criticism I have seen is that I think Ubisoft has stepped in it again. They've come out and said like, hey, our Far Cry series isn't political, and that always kind of, there's always like this pushback about, there's not, people who say we don't want politics in our video games. Ubisoft's trying to kind of take that narrative, but there is no way that Far Cry is not like an allegory for a specific place or a specific thing. So I know they have all those kind of BS clues at the beginning and say like, this is not based on anybody real or in anything. I forget the legalese for it, but yeah, the Far Cry series I think is definitely, while it never comes out and directly says it, is definitely politics, and I mean there's politics and everything. So I think trying to avoid that or trying to say like there's no politics in our games is just an uphill battle. And it's better. I think it's better to just not say anything than potentially put something out there. But I am excited to play Far Cry 6. I enjoyed the heck out of Far Cry 5. So I'm a little bit late to the group, but I really liked the exploration, the explorative nature of Far Cry 6, and I'm hoping, or of Far Cry 5, so I'm hoping to see more of that in Far Cry 6. Rumors of the 4K Switch have come, whirling up again. People are starting to speculate. There was a Bloomberg article kind of saying that, this is what, and there was nothing really confirmed. So like, there wasn't anything official, but like people are having, really getting a strong indication that this is the year that the kind of 4K Switch is coming out. There's kind of more details about like what a marketing plan would look like, with like an announce this summer, which I could see at like E3 or something like that, or something else, maybe Gamescom, and then a launch this fall. So I'm interested to see kind of, what the midlife cycle for the Switch is, what that kind of upgrade looks like. I think people have been talking about it and speculating about it for quite some time. So we might actually get a 4K Switch sometimes this year. So look for that, and that'll probably boost Switch sales again for all those early adopters and people who want kind of the next gen, next great thing. Hopefully it comes with more storage capacity, because that's always something that people, that Switch owners bemoan, is the fact that there's such a limited storage space on the Switch. So hopefully we get a little bit more of that. And yeah, looking forward to getting more details on kind of the bigger screen and all this kind of stuff that has been speculated, but pretty firmly speculated with news this week. So looking forward to seeing more about that. Speaking of the Switch and new consoles coming out, Valve is again, more rumors. The games industry is nothing if not a giant cloud of rumors until they're confirmed. But Valve is working on a PC Switch competitor. So this would be a handheld kind of console that you can play PC games on. I don't think this is something like the Steam Link, which was just like a small box that you could plug into a TV. That was more like a Google Chromecast kind of competitor. But this is intended to be kind of hardware that you can control, and play PC games on. So you know, I think some of us know of like the NVIDIA Shield, which is kind of hit or miss, although I think it did pick up with their subscription service. But this would kind of be a big entry into the kind of handheld space, which I think PC has been trying to get into the handheld space more. And this is probably spurred on by, you know, cloud gaming and what does that look like. So, and how is that going to affect the market? So interesting to see kind of Valve inching into a new territory. You know, they've always been kind of into hardware and peripherals. So it'd be interesting to see kind of what that would work like if this has like some internal storage, or if this is like just a tablet with, you know, like competing with like Steam Big Picture mode running on it or something like that. I think that the hard part is going to be the price point. I think the Switch is definitely the Switch's success is definitely partially due to, or if not significantly due to, its price point. It was like, you know, at $300, it's a very easy entry. The Switch Lite is $200. So having like a PC 4K compatible console, handheld console, you know, with larger size, like that all is going to add up and cost money. And I don't know that people are going to want a $500 or $600 portable PC console thing. So I think the price point is going to be the hardest part to try and get right. But we'll get more details when that's a little bit more shored up sometime in the near future. We got some crossplay politics happening this week. Randy Pitchford in a recent Borderlands 3 update was talking about kind of good news and bad news. There's an update coming to Borderlands. It's going to open up crossplay to all the players of Borderlands. The bad news was that, of course, PlayStation is not playing nice with those who want to do crossplay. So that, you know, in order to get it submitted and approved by each of the first parties, PlayStation kindly reminded them that they are not participating in crossplay, and that, you know, if the update was going to be rolled out, then they would not be included. So yeah, it's just a big mess. You know, I'm glad to see more kind of creators and publishers kind of jumping into the game and trying to push as much as they can against PlayStation and their, you know, kind of anti-consumer stance of crossplay. Now, you know, I'm on the business side as well, so thinking about, yes, it's a smart business decision to keep your ecosystem closed and contained, and it helps sell hardware if more people buy it, and they're winning the console war for whatever that's worth. But I think eventually we have to get to a point where enough people, enough publishers, enough everybody have kind of pushed against them, and hopefully we can break down the garden walls, and we can get crossplay so that people can play together on whatever console they have. So otherwise, you'd have my situation where you have a PlayStation 5 for playing with your friends and an Xbox for when you're playing by yourself. And I even played single-player games on PlayStation. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of the crossplay, you know, the world where crossplay exists everywhere, and people can get whatever hardware they want. I think people would still prefer PlayStation, even if all the walls were broken down, because PlayStation, I think, you know, depending on who you are, has a stronger kind of first party. The first party list of titles is just longer typically, and has a series of games that you know, people become fans of. I'm looking forward to playing Ratchet and Clank, and I'm not gonna, you know, avoid playing that just because I only own an Xbox or anything like that. So I'm definitely not the example here, but. And I've gotten way off topic, but crossplay was talked about again this week. And every time, you know, we just have to stop and say, wouldn't things be better if everybody had crossplay? But, you know, Sony doesn't want to play nice right now. So moving on, Epic Games. The Epic Games Store is giving away Among Us for free this week, or this weekend, to kind of start off their big Memorial Day sale. So besides giving away Among Us for free, which is great, you know, you can play Among Us this weekend with all your friends. They're also kicking off a Memorial Day sale, so I'll have a link down below in the description talking about that. Dead by Daylight in a bit to get more and more horror games and horror characters into their game, is doing did a collaboration with Resident Evil. So they're getting a bunch of Resident Evil characters. So 2 new survivors, Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine, and then a new killer in the Nemesis character. So unfortunately, we don't get to see Lady D in Resident Evil, which again would be perfect, but I don't know that they plan this far ahead. And anyway, exciting to see. Kind of is also 5-year anniversary for Dead by Daylight, so that was also a cool thing to think of as well. I'm a huge fan of Dead by Daylight, so I'm excited to see kind of more and more horror IP getting in there. It's very cool to me, so looking forward to seeing those characters in Dead by Daylight. Last but not least, we got one more game kind of announcing and shoring up a date. I don't think this was on anybody's radar, but Origami 2 is coming out this year. Origami, for those of you who don't know, is kind of a smaller indie game, but it kind of has the market on what it does, and it's a co-op stealth game. So it's a little bit puzzly. You can play it with with one other person, and we got another gameplay trailer this week. Kind of showing off. It looks like you can actually play with up to 3 characters now. At least that's what I saw in the gameplay, as well as might be a little bit more emphasis on kind of some combat elements. Kind of remind me a little bit of like a Ghost of Tsushima Legends, kind of that cooperative battle mode, as well as, you get the stealth portion as well. So, for all those people who want to be a ninja, this will definitely kind of scratch that itch. But I was excited. I love the art style of Origami. The first one, I like, any co-op game I can play with my wife. I'm really excited about. So looking forward to potentially playing this in September. September 17th is the launch date. So again, some of those rocks are starting to fall into place, and we're starting to get kind of Q4 is starting to fill up. So looking forward to more games announcing in the next couple weeks, especially with E3 coming up. So that's it for the week. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. As a special note, actually, my computer chair is dying, so if you have any recommendations for great computer chairs or gaming chairs, I would greatly appreciate putting those down in the comments. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye!